experience presented by Freshworks. And this webinar, as you know, is a series of 5 webinars that we are doing through this month about retail technology. We have split different aspects of retail technology to bring to you in a 1.5 hour workshop come masterclass session. And today's topic is very interesting. It's on marketing automation and how it enhances customer experience. And for me, most of the retailers ask that how can we scale when we see all the e-commerce companies scale from X to 1000X in quite a short span of time. Retailers find it very difficult to scale. One is because physically we are attached to a shop, which is again become a, I think post-COVID, that whole mentality has changed. Now we have started looking at e-commerce. Now, the other secret of how e-commerce companies scale is because for each and everything, even small things which are repetitive processes, they automate it. They automate sales process, they automate marketing process, and that helps them, scale their businesses to a large level. So infinite scaling is possible with infinite automation. So that's the theme of the day, and we are going to look at, the keynote is from an interesting company and from an interesting person, a professional who's been in e-business space, and we are lucky to have Mr.Anirban Chakraborty, who heads the e-business for a pharma brand, Wellness Forever, based out of the West. They have 110 plus pharmacies. And what's happened in the last 4 months is that during the whole lockdown and during the whole COVID scenario, they swiftly moved from being just a retail store model to becoming an omni-channel model by weaving the entire marketing automation and the omni-channel bit to their technology. And Anirban has totally led the transformation that's happened in Wellness Forever. So we have the session starting off with him, and then we move on to the main session, which is the workshop session, which is by Santhosh, who will talk about the different marketing automation tools that you can practically use in your retail business or in your small business. And then there will also be a 10-minute session from Freshworks on the tools that they have, which you can plug and play and start with very less investment. And that's something we talk. And then we ended up with a Q&A. I hope all of you are looking forward to the session. And once again, a good evening to all of you. And I would like to see some participation, and you can type in good evening on the chat box as well to welcome all the speakers today. And we will make it as much as possible an interactive session. So I would request you to also put in your questions on the Q&A box, because chats keep moving up. But if you can put it on the Q&A box, we will pick the questions and take it up with the relevant speakers as well. So welcome. And Mr. Anirban, thanks a lot for joining us for this Retail Association and Blue Koi webinar on Retail Tech Masterclass. And sir, you have done amazing job in the last 4 months with Wellness Forever, and marketing automation has been a I would say a large part of what that you've done, including omni-channel. So we'd like to hear from you about your journey and your learnings in the last 4 months in the next 20 minutes, please. Over to you, sir.
Sure. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me here, Bala. So yes, we have done some work at Wellness Forever in the omni-channel transformation. So just to give a quick background of Wellness Forever. Wellness Forever is one of the largest pharmacy chains in India, actually the third one. We have around 187 stores and counting today in the states of Maharashtra, Goa, and Karnataka, especially in Bangalore and Karnataka. But the challenge for us was that how do we scale up on an omni-channel hyper-local play? That means we did not want to go on a full e-commerce model. We wanted to utilize our store base as the base for expanding our business, increase the radius of influence, if I may, of our stores to from 1 to 2 kilometers, where people will usually come and purchase at the store, to 6 kilometers, where if somebody places an order, we can home deliver the order. That way, we increase the scope of the store, the business area of the store, and we figured out how to use technology to do that, and how to reach the customers with the technology so that they actually come and place the orders. So what we have basically done is that we have built a pure play hyper-local omni-channel model. For us, the customer is omni-channel. That means irrespective of whichever channel the customer comes, be it a store walk-in, be it on our web store, be it on the apps. For us, the customer is one. We treat him as one because his phone number is a unique identifier, and we treat so he can see his purchase history or anything based on his previous experiences with us, and when we serve the customer. So we were moving towards that when actually we had this COVID hitting us big time. And till that point, a lot of our marketing was, of course, there was digital marketing, but a lot of marketing was ground-based marketing, what we call the customer engagement team, where people will go to the societies and hand over flyers or meet customers in the societies anyway. But those got stopped overnight, and then the role came is that how do you ensure automated process where it is a contactless marketing, and also at the same time harness the data we have of our 3.5 million customers to reach out to the customer, give our offerings, give our services. So what we did is that we started relying on our on our technology, and in terms of we now then started using our contact centers to reach out to the customers by voice, telling them that we are available. We are available on the app. We are available to take orders on the TCOM, and we'll still home deliver you, because luckily we were one of the essential services. Of course, there was internet, and then of course through telco-driven SMS campaigns and using Bitly for social discovery, so that people actually come to our sites. But what we realized is that the most important part of this all was that the fact that we had taken the marketing automation journey and believed in omni-channel approach, because most of the organization I've seen, the data sits in silos. The store part is one, the e-commerce runs as a different one, and you do not know the same customer is coming to you. You do not really capture the footprints of the customer on a regular basis. But in our case, we were very, very clear that we will use automated tools and to play that. So there are 4 points where we started actually understanding the customer and where the automation played a big role. One was that we started understanding the customer visit behavior, that how he is behaving on the physical store, what he is buying from a physical store, on the app, what he is browsing, on the website, what he is looking at. Then we, of course, use the browsing behavior a lot to understand that what he is looking at, what he is interested in making a purchase on, and then tied it to the customer purchase behavior to understand that okay, what she sees is what she buys, or is there a different variant which is available, or is there an abandoned cart there which is applicable. And based on these 3 inputs: visit behavior, browsing behavior, and the purchase behavior, we designed our automated campaigns, which actually gave the customer a view of what we are selling, and what are the price changes, what are the price changes, and what are the new campaigns we can give. So if there's a price change, there's a price update, or we keep on using this tool automation. We do A/B testing also, sending customers a set of campaigns and see how the response is, and based on the response we send the second set of campaigns. And this has worked fairly well for us, that we could do a pretty good amount of business even during COVID. And most importantly, what we believed is that we were able to reach out to the customer at the time when they were feeling like initial days of the COVID. We were very customers are very keen what stores are open, what stores are not open, what is being available or not. So one of the means for us using this marketing was also information sharing. So we knew that information sharing would automatically lead to purchases. So we said to the customer that we are there for you. We have the products in queue. You do not need to panic. You can order. You do not need to step out of our home, and we will home deliver the same to you. So what we understood is that is that in today's time and date, it is so important to have automated tools, because automated tools can slice and dice the data to make instantaneous decisions in terms of the price changes, or price changes, or giving offering substitutes, which is very important in case of medicine, offering substitutes, and make appropriate intervention. So automation actually helps the velocity of decision making. It is not that before the automation decision making did not happen, but today the speed and the velocity is way different. And given that the customers are shopping at all channels, and we have a lot of data to understand, and it is our primary objective to satisfy the customer. This helps us to make a lot of good decisions. So we actually we deployed a tool called Exclusify for ourselves, so of course, which is a part of a bigger platform which we built in-house, which actually captured the customer journey from the point he is making a discovery on the app to actually placing the order, automated inventory checks. For example, we build in India's in case of retail, what happens is that if you are serving from the store, you need to know which items are available from which store. So in the app, we build something called MFM, which is called merchandise flow management. In that merchandise flow management, what it does is that it automatically picks up the nearest store to the customer, checks the inventory, and gives back the timelines for delivery, which helps the customer a lot, that he knows that, okay, this item is going to come for sure. Otherwise, a lot of cases we are uh, we are left without any information. So, but again, this information, the MFM calls, all this feed into the marketing engine, so we know that what the customer is actually looking for, and it really helped us to speed up our business and stay at upfront of everything, and we could reach out to the customers. So that was just a brief introduction what we actually did over the last 4-5 very hectic months. Over to you, Bala.
Thank you, Anirban. I think that gave an overview for us in terms of what you did. Any specifically the tools you've put together a whole ecosystem for your marketing automation. Would you like to take us through the tech stack, the tools? Probably people can note down. It will be helpful for them as you make those recommendations. What are the automation tools? Like, have you connected GetResponse, Zapier? Of course, you said you're using Exclusive as a CRM. Chat automation, what is the tool that you've used? So these are the parts that we would want to hear as well.
So most of the tools were created in-house, basically. We really did not go. We created most of the tools to capture, slice, and dice data in-house. In terms of outside, we only used tools like Exclusify. But Exclusify also, we did a lot of development, custom development on the top of the available stack to allow for the kind of requirements we have in a omni-channel scenario. Basically, when the customer comes to the store and he comes from the app, how do you relate them together? How do you know the same customer? What is the footprint? How do you analyze? So we really did not use too many of off-the-market tools. We built it rather. Maybe that was a trend, and so we built it rather.
Sure, Anirban. And also, see, you've headed e-businesses for other companies as well. You've been CEO of an e-commerce company. So for retailers, and you understand retail as well now with Wellness Forever. Now for retailers who are on this webinar, if you have to tell them to pick 3 things that they need to automate in their business, in their marketing function, what are those 3 things that they need to automate?
Okay, so the 3 things they have to automate is to automate the customer footprint. Again, most of the retailers are becoming omni-channel today. So they have to automate the customer footprint. How do they capture the customer data? Second is that how do they capture the customer browsing behavior? Basically, browsing can be in the store. There are bounces in the store also. People ask for something and you do not get it. So if somebody quickly puts it on a system, then the system can take it and analyze it. And the third thing is that very important is the automated campaigns based on the data you collect. The data is no good if you cannot analyze it and do. So the automation has to be on the campaign side. that sending the right campaigns, right messages through in-app notification, through SMSs to the customer, or through emails based on what their interests are. If they cover these three things, they're fairly at home in terms of the marketing automation.
And with now, in terms of the SaaS being most of the products being available in the software as a service model, how much do you think retailers should invest on marketing automation? Any number that you can put for all the benefit of the retailers here? What is the budget that they can look at?
No. So again, it depends. So the way we look at it is that, of course, most of the products are CapEx, but the way we look at is that what is the value add to the customer. So budget will depend on what is the ticket size. For us, there's a different ticket size for a pharmaceutical, and there is a repeat purchase versus in certain cases, it's more of an instantaneous purchase. So budget is a tricky question, but they have to see the ROI. It is very important for them to understand the ROI. But the reason most people don't understand the ROI because of that the retailer may not be technologically very mature. One of the things we have seen is that traditionally retail has been not so much mature on the customer side of things, technologically savvy. More on the business process. Maybe they have a ERP, they process bills, do accounting and all. But the savviness which is required on the customer side of things is usually missing, and we really don't. We behave in one way when we are a retailer versus one way when we are a customer. We think that the customer will follow this step, and as a customer, he does not believe in those steps. Customers' behavior is very, very different, and we can do the self-thought experiment on that. So,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so that is very important to have a ROI expectation that for if I put this 100 rupees today, what is the number of customers I will be able to get and able to convert, and what will be the outcome of that? That has to be very clear, and most importantly, the organization has to be technologically mature to utilize full. Because one of the things which we have successfully done in Wellness Forever, like we have 3,500 employees, and when we rolled out this platform, we actually took a lot of training programs. And believe me, each store employee was taught how to utilize. Although store in our case happens, the order goes to the nearest store and then it gets processed. Then it goes to an automated delivery system and gets delivered. So the store is a very important fulcrum of the entire thing. So we told them that we gave them an app. We told them, see, this is where the order is coming to you. You have to process the order, and whatever you see on the app, the customer is also seeing the same thing. So it's the same state. So you are like a customer. It's not that if you are seeing that the order is still in progress, the customer is also still in progress. The order is out for delivery, the customer is also out for delivery. So that has helped us to sensitize them to the customer's need, that what they are doing directly, the customer is getting impacted. So we overcome that organizational hurdle that yes, we have successfully trained people and now they are using because for us, all our stores are nodes, technically inventory nodes from where we can deliver to the nearest customer within 6 kilometers. And that is one of the very important things to bring the technological maturity of the organization.
So my next question was in terms of ROI only, Anirban. So at the situation when during COVID, this phase, when 4 months, I think COVID has hit us so badly that most of retailers here are borrowing money for paying rentals, for paying salaries. Now, if we have to take a rupee and invest in technology, what is the ROI thumb rule that we have to keep in mind? So anyway, we are borrowing. We'll borrow for technology, but what is the thumb rule we have to keep in mind? How do we monitor return?
Sure. So at least the technology should give you. See, it's technology. The best thing about technology, it should be scalable. Basically, when you are investing in something, it should be so scalable that the incremental cost should be close to negligible. The cost of serving 100 customers against 1,000 customers, the incremental cost should be very negligible. So the way I look at it, at least it should give you 3x returns. Otherwise, it does not really make any sense to invest in technology, because technology investment is not only in terms of cost, but it also in terms of a lot of effort which is needed to change the business processes. And if that changing does not allow you to scale up fast and get 3x more business or 3x more revenue or 3x more profit, it's just not worth it, because 1x to 1.5x even humanly we can do it. So it should be at least be double, if not triple or quadruple of the ROI.
Thank you for that observation, Anirban. So, for all the attendees listening in, so I think we don't have a choice but to invest in technology at this time, especially during when customers are looking at shopping online. And if you invest, now you have various options. Unlike what it was 5 years ago, when software was there, very expensive, and the initial installation itself you had to shell out lakhs. Now a lot of options are available, which are all SaaS based. That means you pay as you go, you pay monthly. Unless you need heavy customization, then they will charge you a customization fee upfront, right? Otherwise, it's all pay monthly. And the ROI to calculate, Anirban has given a wonderful tip that see whether you can triple your sales or your profit by using technology. And here you go. You should actually adopt technology, right? So, Anirban, you wanted to say something before we end this session and then move on to the next one?
No, so basically, see, there is just no choice right now. See, COVID has accelerated timelines by 3 to 4 years, and technology intervention. There is no choice. Yes, retailers as is will coexist with technology. It's not that one or the other. So it is the faster and quicker we embrace it, the better it will be for us. Because what happens is that I have seen customer shifting happens overnight. So we think because it's a generation of customers who come every year, matures and comes and then they shift. So it is very important to do things today so that when the shifting happens, you are there to receive those customers to your gate. Otherwise, you will end up playing catch up. And in technology, playing catch up is very difficult from whatever I've seen.
Yeah, thank you, Anirban, on those wise notes. I'll thank you once again from behalf of RAI, Bluecoy, and all the team here for taking your time to do this keynote for us. And as we move on to the next session, I would like you all to type in a word of thanks and appreciation for Anirban on the chat box, please. And thanks, Anirban. We will move to the next session now, and then hope to see you soon again.
Sure.
Thank you very much. So audience, I hope you've had a lot of pointers from Anirban's session, and we now quickly, this is a 1.5 hour workshop, so we are keeping it very tight and very fast. So we move on to the core of the session, which is the workshop training by Mr. Santhosh Palavesh. So Santhosh, you can put on your video and your audio, please. And Santhosh, as many of you who are here will know that he heads, he's a digital guru. He heads a digital agency called UMM Digital, which has worked with leading clients in India and abroad. They have offices all over the world. And Santhosh has been part of our digital transformation and engagement journey with a lot of retailers and SMEs over the last 4 months. Together, I think as a group, we have trained close to 10,000 SMEs and retailers in the last 4 months alone during lockdown. So here, without much ado, Santhosh for you, and he's going to talk about marketing automation for the first time in the technology series. So Santhosh, over to you. I look forward to listening to the marketing and sales automation.
Yes, thank you, Bala. Thank you all. I mean, hi to all the participants. Bala, could you give me the screen share permission, please?
Yes.
Right. So great. So let me. Okay. Yeah. So you're able to see my screen, Bala?
No, Santhosh. Yes.
No?
Now there's something coming on.
Great. So what's my hard stop here today? Same as it, 5:10.
5:10.
5:10. Yeah. Great. So yeah, let's get started. So I think good evening all. So I think I'm not sure how many of you were part of my previous sessions in the last 3 webinars, right? But to all those people who are new, hi once again, right? So a quick introduction about myself. So I'm a digital guy, right? So I started up back in 2008 when I was in college. Straight away, I formed my own technology and a digital firm. And so I'm the CEO and founder of UMM Digital. We are a 12 years old company helping brands go digital. We help build them mobile applications, web applications, help them in marketing automation, help them in digital marketing, getting sales, leads, SEO, social media, etc., etc. And we were a Chennai-born company, but we moved our headquarters to London. So I keep shuttling between London, Dubai, and Chennai. We have offices in all these 3 places. And on a personal level, I'm a digital enthusiast. I look forward to learn everything digital. Digital is more of my passion, and it's very intellectual. So I keep learning digital on a daily basis. And one of my key understanding and the reason why I keep learning is also because how to implement digital to help generate better revenue, right? So digital is not one of the ways of achieving things. Digital is the way of achieving things. And COVID was only accelerated the whole result, right? So it's not that eventually, like it or not, digital would have played a major role, but I think COVID has definitely accelerated, like how Anirban ji said, it has definitely accelerated the whole thing by another, 3 to 4 years. So all the retailers who would have kind of gotten importance about digital, say 3-4 years later, has already realized it right now, right? So let's get into today's session here. So before that, I would like to understand some really basic questions, right? So yeah, we have close to 120 plus participants here. So I wanted to understand, number one, I want you guys to type in which domain are you guys in, like fashion, e-commerce, or offline store or online store, right? That's one. And number two is, how many of you know about marketing automation, and how many of you think marketing automation is all Greek and Latin, we don't understand anything? How many of you feel it's too tough a word to understand? Jewelry, e-commerce, advertising, offline. Yeah, okay, understand. Pandya says he understands. Automobiles, he says no idea about marketing automation. Okay, good, Rahul. Right, Satya understands. Yes, understand e-commerce, understand a bit. Okay, so we're having a kind of a mixed thing here, right? So okay, so let me go forward with the whole marketing automation thing here, right? Okay, so marketing automation is definitely one of the mostly misunderstood word. Okay, suddenly we talk about marketing automation, we all start thinking more like Infosys, Tata consultancy, high level software term, etc., right? So people think marketing automation is very complicated. So I'm going to break it down into as simple as I can, right? But still, if you have some questions, I'm more than happy to take it in the question answer session, right? So that's the Wikipedia definition, right? So marketing automation refers to software platforms and technologies designed for marketing departments to work more effectively, right? That's as simple as it comes, right? So let me put it in this way. Let's say I'm a jewelry store, or let's say I'm an apparel store. I hire a manager, or I hire a guy to only send SMS campaigns, because let's say I have a customer data of 20,000. There's one guy whom I'm paying, let's say 6,000 rupees if it's a tier 2 town, or 10,000 rupees if it's a tier 1 city like a Chennai, Bangalore, etc., for him to only manage our customer SMS and customer email. So he manually goes to Excel sheet, fills with the number, he types up messages, and he rings you every week saying, sir, this is today's message, sir, this is tomorrow's message, and etc., right? And he focuses entire 8-hour work schedule on a daily basis on sending a very simple SMS campaign, which people hardly open up, right? So which means you're spending at 8,000, 10,000 rupees for somebody, efforts on some activity to make sure, efforts on some activity for which the outcome is not matching it, right? Okay, now to solve this is where actually marketing automation comes in. Okay, all the marketing activities that can actually be automated can be done using a platform to make sure the owners can get relieved of the mundane tasks that they keep doing on a repetitive basis. That is as simple as marketing automation can be put, right? I really do not admire founders who work on SMS campaigns, email campaigns, week on week, and etc., because they should be focusing on how to raise more funding for their business, how to expand their business to other cities and regions, right? And how to make sure they expand their business globally. That is where they should put their time and energy on, not on focusing on what SMS to send or what emails to send, right? So that's where marketing automation comes in. So we are talking about how to efficiently enable a software to make sure at least a large amount of marketing happens automatically, right? Okay, so here if you see on my screen, 25% of business says they don't use automation tools, but that's a US number. In us, it's a reverse. Here, I think more than 80% of business do not use marketing automation tools, right? And the next is here, if you see here, 4 in 5 retailers have claimed to have increased revenue by implementing marketing automation software, right? And 77% of marketing automation activities have resulted in better conversions, right? That's the outcome. So I explained what is marketing automation. It's about the whole outcome of marketing automation is getting free time to put in more beneficiary activities rather than mundane activities, right? That's what we're talking about. Okay, next. Now, what is marketing automation? What is the workflow like? How does it work? And etc. It's very simple. That's simply put in 3 steps. Number 1, marketing automation takes data from different sources. So which means I am getting customer calls using phone calls, using Facebook, using Google, using my e-commerce shop, right? Or maybe using YouTube, or maybe direct walk-ins. So marketing automation combines this data, and the data is segregated into different buckets. It classifies customer A as a high-paying customer, customer B as a mid-level paying customer C as a yet to become customer Customer D is never going to be a customer. So you split it into different buckets, and then you put relevant messages to them. For example, if I am a guy who only purchases iPhone, how much ever you try to sell me an Oppo, Vivo through your SMS campaigns, I'm not going to buy it. You're only wasting your efforts on a lead that's never going to convert, right? So it all comes down to, do you have a software that really understands Santhosh is an iPhone user and he will never buy an Oppo, Vivo, right? So that's where marketing automation kind of, comes in. So some of the, examples of marketing automation here, if you see, as soon as one, dentist appointment it is made, right? So let's say, for example, you had a dentist appointment, and after a year, you have forgotten about the client, but the software doesn't. It automatically sends them a message back saying, hey, it's time for your annual checkup. Why don't you walk in and take a 20% off? And there is a very high probability that he or she will walk in. Marketing automation is leveraged efficiently by insurance companies, and that's why insurance companies, without fail, they know as much as data about you because they want to sell hard. Okay, but we retailers, we kind of take our data light. We don't give importance to marketing automation, because of which we only crib saying, hey, customers customers are not walking in, and etc., because we are not leveraging or taking new customers from the existing database that we have, right? Now this is another use case here. If you see a customer's birthday, right? Now imagine your Lenskart, your Flipkart, your Amazon, your Uber, wherever you filled your birthday, you get your birthday messages and you feel a sense of warmth, right? So that's what we look forward to see here. So that gives you some kind of an emotional connect to the brand that, again, most of us don't do, because according to us, customers are only money machines or products who will come and buy. We do not want to develop any kind of an emotional component with them, because of which there is no loyalty that comes in, right? So that is another example of what marketing automation can potentially do for us. Okay, now the next couple of slides might look technical, but do not be worried about it. Okay, so if you see here, marketing automation software is a platform that enables marketing work pretty easily. And the most important aspect of marketing automation software is to enable unanimous marketing campaigns across all channels at the same time. Manually, if you can do an SMS, maybe email, okay, but your social, your Google AdWords, your e-com website banners, your SMS, your emails, all should talk one language. Now, achieving that manually is literally impossible, right? So maybe SMS, you have the software with yourself, you might be able to do it by yourself. Email, maybe you'll call your website development guy to help you with it. Your website vendor is a different vendor, your agency is a different vendor, right? Now all of them have to talk one common language. That's going to be very, very difficult, right? But that has to be achieved. That's a primary component of marketing automation. Okay, now what does marketing automation do? Think of the customers like taking care of a plant. Whenever a lead comes, a lead is more like a seed, and marketing automation software, through a period of a couple of months or a couple of weeks or a couple of days, through consecutive communication with them, nurtures the seed by by sprinkling water and etc., and eventually the sprout comes up. Now that's how customers are to be generated. Now, for example, take Lenskart, Flipkart, we always are being communicated by these brands. Okay, because of which at least in a year, thrice or four times we look at transacting with this brand, right? So that's what we are looking forward to achieve for every single retailer here. So if you see here, there was a test that was conducted that kind of says 36.7% people say marketing automation was done by them, chosen by them to generate more leads, right? And then 36% says to nurture leads, which is about converting the leads into a sale. That is also a big task, yeah. And then 28% is about to feed automated campaigns. By 26% is about engaging the customers. 15% is about pushing more content into it. 39% says they don't use marketing automation. Okay, so now how do you evaluate whether you guys are doing marketing automation or not, right? If your social, if your email, if your SMS, and if your website do not talk to each other, then on CRM, if you do not talk to each other, take for granted you're not automated your marketing, because of which your efforts are being spent on each of the bucket in a very, very a different manner, and you're ending up wasting time, right? Okay, now what's the marketing automation process flow? Okay, that's as simple as I could put for you. So number one, that's the contact management, right? So contacts are either automatic or manual. If I'm a retail store, I'm looking at collecting the data. Number one, most retailers, I've seen the mistake that they do is they don't even collect the walk-in customers detail, right? You should find a seamless way of collecting the data of customers who walk in as well, right? If I'm walking into a Tanishq, and if Tanishq is able to collect my phone number effectively, which I believe then you could also, right? But most guys we don't do, right? So manually as well as automatically, contacts are basically collected and kept in a separate bucket. Okay, Now, coming to the segmentation. The segmentation is kind of manually done, but there are tools to basically automate it as well. What do I mean by segmentation? Segmentation is you have a list of customer database, which customers who have bought with you, purchased with you, and etc. I'm not talking about the Excel sheet that you pay 500 rupees and get from market, which is full of spam numbers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your customer data for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of you in business. You would have collected a customer data. Okay, now take that and you need to start segmenting. Right now, let's put it this way. Amazon knows whether you are a consumer electronics consumer, or you are a grocery consumer, or you are a furniture consumer, or you are a dress consumer, and etc. So similarly, with your customers, you need to segment them into different groups, right? Groups based out of region, earning capacity, family, past purchases, purchase volume, etc., etc. So there are different buckets, right? And then what you do is you also do some kind of a scoring. Now, scoring is not manually done. It is something that the marketing automation software will do for you. So what do I mean by scoring is, let's say, for example, there are 10 customers who walk into my shop. Okay. In that, let's say 3 customers have walked in more than 3 times and 1 customer have purchased, which means the 1 customer who have purchased will receive the highest score. The next highest score will go to the 3 members who have walked into my store thrice because they are more serious customers. The remaining 7 will be given a very average score. So this data mapping is data mining kind of a thing. The software will do, if you have 10,000 customers, the software will automatically kind of score your customers saying, okay, customer in bucket A are the ones who has a maximum probability to purchase with you or engage with you. Customer bucket number 2 are the customers who have potential to basically interact with you. Customers number 3 have just basically inquired, so which means you need to do hardcore marketing to them to convert them. Now, what we do a generic SMS, same 20% coupon code to everybody, right? So which means if I'm a customer who don't care about coupons, I wouldn't mind paying you the entire amount. You're still getting a 20% revenue loss because you offered that coupon to me because you didn't know much about me, right? So that's where we are looking at. Okay, so that's where we're looking at. So that's scoring. And if all these combines, then the marketing automation kicks in, where there is a set of newsletters, emails, social banners, SMS. You define the workflow and it automatically, marketing automation does the work for you. Okay, now Santhosh, if I get a marketing automation software, don't I need to have any marketing team? Can I fire every sales guy or every marketing guy? No, right? Now this is only for the automated task. Now if I ask my guy manually to send 20,000 SMS or bucket it into 5 buckets and send customized SMS for all these 5 buckets, he cannot do it in a day, but the software can get it done in less than 10 minutes. So we are talking about efficiency, right? So we are clearly talking about efficiency. We are clearly talking about how to not waste time on mundane activities. So this is not a replacement to your branding. This is not a replacement to your social media marketing. This is not a replacement to your marketing activities. This cannot replace your Facebook ads. This cannot replace your ads or radio ads or data ads, or etc. Right? But all the leads that are generated, all the interest that are generated on your brand, how do you nurture and you help improve in better conversions is what marketing automation is all about, right? So you still need people, but only thing is you work effectively with marketing automation, right? So some of the essential features to enable marketing automation in your brand are: number 1, CRM, right? So let me ask something here, right? So how many of you guys have a CRM? People who have, say yes. People who don't have, no, say no, please. Yeah, okay, great. So I'm getting a mixed reply of yes and no, manager, etc. Right? Okay, but believe it or not, CRM is the key of marketing automation software, right? CRM is the key because that's where all your customer data kind of sits in. That's where all your knowledge about customer kind of sits in, and etc. Right? This for you guys to get enabled to work work marketing automation is: number 1, CRM. Then number 2, your email software, right? So I still know a lot of guys just designing a newsletter and copy pasting all the email IDs in the Gmail and CCing everybody and sending it. That's a very bad practice. That's not how it should be done. It should be automated and it should be personalized. Which means if your customer named Gauri is getting an email, he should get it in the name of "Hey Gauri," and it should look very personalized. Only personalized emails actually work. Now, then coming to landing pages, then coming to automation. Automation is the whole process of automating your entire stuff. Then analytics, we're talking about Google Analytics as well as CRM and email analytics, because one of the very important function of marketing automation is we send a lot of communication, SMS, emails, etc. But we fail to follow up on how many people opened it, how many people went till clicking the link, and how many people after clicking the link went to the checkout page, etc., etc. So that's where you kind of need to be very closely attached to your analytics. Then the workflow, which SMS to be triggered for which customer category, etc., etc. Right? Then your platform integration. Most of our retailers here, we are talking about, including I think Anirban ji was mentioning that there is no one software that could do everything, right? So some people have WhatsApp, Instagram, some people have exclusive FCRM, some people have etc., etc., etc. Right? But what is the platform that will integrate all this into one? That's very important here. Lead scoring. There are marketing automation tools without lead scoring as well, but I would prefer you guys to go with the lead scoring integrated marketing automation software. Then comes social media, and this I think in the previous webinar, Mr. Shah from Specsmaker, told that very efficiently that he's tracking all the visitor ID. So he's basically collecting all the data of customers who's visiting a website. So which means if I even just visit a website, he's trying to extract maximum information out of me, even without me having to sign up or interact or transact with them and etc. Right? So these are some of the essential features of essential needs of enabling marketing automation. Okay, now moving forward, let's look at some real life examples, and then I'm going to cover the 12 steps to basically take your brand into the marketing automation cycle. Okay, now for non-technology guys, please do not yeah, Ms. Hitesh, I'll go a little bit slower. Okay, so now for non-technology guys, the next couple of slides, do not be scared, do not be alarmed. It's absolutely okay if you're not able to understand the next 2-3 slides, but I am just going to show you the possibilities of what marketing automation softwares can do, so that you, if you're technically strong, you can get it done by yourself. If you're not technically strong, you can get it done through your agency or your digital marketing guys or etc. Right? Okay, now this is a real life example. So marketing automation softwares are like the screenshot, like I show you here, right? So if I go to this screenshot, I'll like zoom it here. So if you see here, they have a workflow that is kind of enabled here. Okay, so here, if you see, start after the are captured, wait for 1 day, right? And then there is an email that is triggered, and then wait for 3 days. If he still hasn't transacted, there is a second email that is triggered. Okay, and decisions, right? If he or she has read both the emails, then still not responded, which means they are not interested. They go into a bucket of not interested. So which means you will not be sending any more communication to them because they're clearly not interested in the brand. But if they have read any one of both the mails, then you tempt them more by informing the system to produce a discount coupon personalized to them and then send it to the contact, right? So look at the workflow here. These are some workflows for which we all have been praised for, right? So if we have seen a product in Amazon, if we have seen a product in Flipkart or in Lenskart, for example, in the next 2-3 days, you get that same product with a coupon code offer code saying, hey, Santhosh, you visited this product and this product is with a 20% off right now, go purchase it, right? That's because my information has already been mined and has been fed into a workflow marketing automation software like this. Okay, now this software is only a bridge above your WhatsApp, your SMS, your POS, your email, your social media, and etc. Right? That's a sample workflow. Okay, now look at this here. This is a second example. Yeah. So, okay, now let's say, for example, if you have already sent a discount code, right? And then after 1 week, the software waits. Okay, and then there is a decision making here. The software finds out whether the customer, after sending the discount code, after waiting for 1 week, have they purchased or not? If they're still not purchased, the customer is moved into the not interested category. Or if they have purchased, then there is a follow-up, and then they have completely categorized as a purchased customer, and then they are brought into the CRM as a Salesforce, right? So if you see here again, okay, so it's clearly they are trying to distinguish between the interested customers and uninterested customers. Now let's take a step back and realize we guys are never changing or updating our database. We are just keeping on sending our SMS campaigns, back and back to the same database without knowing whether these guys are opening it or reading it or etc., etc. Because of which you're only wasting money on people who are not going to respond to you forever. And then we come back and say, hey, SMS is not working for us or emails are not working for us. That's because you're addressing your SMS and emails to customers who are not interested in your product, but your machines or your software is not capable of understanding that, right? Now that's the workflow. Now these workflows that you see here is not complicated. It is just that you can write your customer flow in a piece of paper and give it to your web development guy or a digital guy, and he can put it inside the software. Now, Santhosh, which software we can use for doing this? I'll come to that. I'll towards the end of the webinar. Okay, then one of the most important use case is the abandoned shopping cart use case, especially for people in e-commerce. I have been in some e-commerce websites where I try and close. I still remember I was in cleartrip.com and I was trying to book a flight ticket, and the moment I went to the checkout page and I abandoned the cart, within the next 30 seconds I got a call saying, "Hey, hey Santhosh, this is from Cleartrip. I saw you leaving a shopping cart. What is the problem?" and etc. Then I told him, "Hey, I think I found a better price." He immediately threw me a 20% discount and made me purchase in Cleartrip. Now that's what we're talking about on abandoning shopping cart, right? Now, do all of us have a system like that in place? Most of us don't, right? So, and not only that, you can define any workflow. It's not that the software has predefined workflows and etc. It's up to you to define a workflow here. So, which means if there are two guys in fashion industry, right? There is person A, person B. His workflow can be different. Your workflow can be completely different, right? So it could be completely different. The software can do anything. So you, as a founder of the organization, need to give in a flow of how do you want to classify your customers, right? So yeah, abandoned shopping cart. You can use such email triggers, SMS triggers for upselling and cross selling. Like for example, I was purchasing in Reliance Trend, and there was definitely marketing automation software in Reliance Trend because we purchased for 14,000 rupees. The software automatically realized that we are purchasing for 14,000. It threw me an instant code saying, if you buy for 15,000, we are giving a percentage off. And I bought in items for another 1,000 more. So basically for upselling. So for upselling, for abandoning shopping cart, after sales support, which means imagine if I'm your customer and month on month, let's say month on month, I keep getting an SMS or email from you saying, "Hey, how's your product? Are you enjoying it? Are you liking it?" etc. Which is you not sending it personally, but I'm feeling happy that I'm being taken care, right? So after sales support, and to wake the inactive leads, sometimes customers are definitely potential customers, but they have lost interest over a period of time. Now, how do you awaken them, right? So they came here for a purpose. Now let's talk about the purpose that they came and shoot them an email or an SMS. So for waking up inactive leads and definitely for customer happiness. If you are a customer delight or a customer happiness focused company, then you should definitely look at integrating marketing automation. Right now, these are some of the real life example and workflows that the world is using right now. Definitely not as complicated as it sounds. It's very simple. Maybe on pictures on the screenshot you might find it looking like a big software or whatever, but it's not that. It's very, very simple to use. Okay, now how to go about automating the entire marketing function in my company, right? So you guys might say, "Hey Santhosh, that's all fine, you're given a good nyan, there was a great intro, there was some nice screenshots, but can you break it down into steps on how we can basically integrate it within our business?" Okay, so I'm going to take you through the 12 steps here, right? Okay, number one is make sure your CRM is capable enough to play well with the marketing automation side of things. Like this means, for example, I know somebody was saying Exclusive Life. I think Anirban was using Exclusive Life. Exclusive Life is a software that is marketing automation enabled, right? But there are also basic CRMs, which do not have the provision for marketing automation. So it all comes down to, is your CRM capable of playing the marketing automation game? If not, I'm sorry, you might have to slightly rethink on your CRM. Or if you say, "Santhosh, I'm extremely happy with my CRM, I do not want to replace it, but still can I play?" Absolutely no problem. What you can do is you can still purchase a marketing automation software. I will give you some good product names in the end. You can still buy some good marketing automation software and integrate it with your CRM. Definitely yes, right? So the number one is teaching your CRM on how to play with the marketing automation. So this is where we're talking about these 5 points of, number one, is your CRM understanding your marketing campaign, or is your CRM only collecting customer data? If your CRM is only collecting customer data, Excel sheets will do much better. The whole purpose of having a CRM is to understand the campaign. So campaign history, so which means if you're having an offline campaign, phone campaign, social media, are those leads coming into the CRM? Which is a very, very simple thing. Like you can use even tools like Zapier. There's a tool called Zapier, Zapier, through which Facebook leads through Facebook and Instagram can be connected to your CRM and etc. So everything has to come fall into the CRM. And it's a CRM monitoring the open and click rate. Is your CRM monitoring email responses? Is your CRM monitoring the online form completion and the website activity, right? So number one step, is your CRM capable enough to play the marketing automation game? If yes, then we go ahead to the next steps. If not, you look at implementing another marketing automation software parallel to your CRM to drive along with it, right? Number two is segmenting your campaign recipients, not necessarily only email, in general, right? So now that my CRM has a ton of data, it has people's name, people's phone number, some addresses, some birthdays, some anniversary dates, some etc., right? The more you know about your customer, the better it is. Now imagine if I'm a customer of any of your retail shops with, let's say you guys have multiple branches, and I go to all the stores and every store knows about me. Now what good an experience is that? Now imagine Zara, imagine Lifestyle. Anywhere they go, they put your phone number, they get all your history there, right? So similarly, so that way, how much you know more about your customers. Okay, geography wise, region wise, which industry are your customers from, through which content type did they come to know about a brand? Is it through a flyer, or is it through a Facebook, or did I come through word of mouth, or was I a normal walk-in, etc.? And what is my interest level? Now, to interest level, can you give a score? Now, for example, Santhosh came and inquired for a new Samsung phone. Okay, so, and he inquired twice in a week, so which means my interest level is high. So maybe I could be given a score of 9 out of 10. That's called a lead score, right? But let's say, for example, somebody who's casually called and never called back will get a score between 1 to 2. So what is the interest level? And also try and understand the job function, right? Why job function? Because by job function, you can arrive at the potential salary that person might be getting. And with that, you'll be able to, upsell for a slightly higher amount as well. Now, is your customer segregated into these buckets? Now, here, there is some level of manual intervention that's required, wherein large companies have marketing automation strategists who do this. Small companies, absolutely, the CEOs have to roll up their sleeves and get this done into, segmenting their customers into various buckets based on these, right? And then once these buckets are ready, different buckets are ready. So you will have, say, male customers, female customers. Female customers, if it's a fashion industry, if you're selling saris, for example, female customers potentially who might get married in the next 2-3 years, they are on bucket of customers, and etc. Right? These customers are heavy shoppers for Diwali, right? It could be any number of buckets. So second step is categories in the bucket inside your CRM, right? Okay, moving forward. Third is creating your messages, right? Now, messages are very, very important because that's where you can be very, very quirky, and you can push in your brand. Because I think especially post COVID, gone are the days where paper ads, TV ads, theater ads are actually being very effective. So whatever the little SMS that you send, whatever the little email, whatever the little Facebook post that you put, make sure you are getting your messaging right. So which means, number one, your date and time. Number two, the design, if it's good. Number three, the messaging. Are you talking the right message? For example, if I'm a customer, like I rightly said before, if I'm an iPhone customer, do not talk to me about Oppo, Vivo. I'm not going to listen to it, right? And then the goals. Why are you sending this message? And what is the outcome of each message? So if you see here, so here, call to action, links, right? So these messages should properly communicate something. So there has to be a thought process. There has to be some kind of a creative thinking in putting down your SMS. Do not copy SMS from, competitors and copy paste and send it, right? I saw a brand which was doing something very creative of lately, right? So I got an SMS saying your account balance is ... I opened the message, but I opened it to see it was some other company's marketing message. Okay, so they just played around with me. Okay, it's not the right way to do things, but they made me click the SMS, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So you said messaging, right? And every message of yours needs to have a call for action, right? So don't any SMS that says, "Hey, we sell saris, come to my shop," is a non-performing message. Hey, it's sari season, it's Diwali season, purchase a sari here, avail a 30% off before end of August 30th. Click this link to purchase now. No, that's a proper call to action. So setting your messaging right is very important. And then launching your message, creating a message, and then come here launching a message. Now, while launching a message, if it's an email, make sure your call to actions are there, your social icons are there, your forward to friend, share in WhatsApp, etc. are there, and click to download a web version, click to download a PDF, or click a brochure, download a brochure, etc. are there. And most importantly, let's not irritate our customers. So let's give them a very honest unsubscribe option. If I don't like your messaging, I need to have an option to basically unsubscribe from you, right? So that's the next checkpoint for that. And then the fifth point is, for people who are looking at promoting online, your landing pages becomes very, very, very important. So there we're talking about how do you make sure your landing page actually sells your product. So can you give some kind of a free trial? Can you give some kind of a download, free download, okay, for against a lead, right? Like for example, a lot of companies do, download this PDF, or to download a brochure, enter your email, phone number, and etc. Some companies blindly ask for email, phone number, nobody will fill. But to download a brochure, enter your email and phone number. Now that people will download, put in your details because they need the brochure there, right? So have a, tie up the lead to a call for action, because people have to do some activity to make sure they get, whatever the free thing that you're doing for you. So that's the landing page automation that we're looking at, right? And then once they come to the landing page, Are we showing them the right product? Are we showing them the right messaging, right? Are we showing them the right thank you message after the lead is done? And after they interacted with the landing page, are we taking them to a right product page, etc., right? All these have to play into the consideration. So which means your websites, your landing pages becomes a very, very important function in this, right? There is also something called, if you see here, there is something called dynamic content. Okay, I don't know how many of you use effectively dynamic content here. Like for example, Google AdWords has a dynamic advert functionality, right? Or if I search for something, the ad can replicate what I search, and that can become the creative by itself, right? So if I search, let's say Samsung phone coupon codes, your ad will be shown as avail Samsung phone coupon codes at, let's say, XXX mobiles, right? So that's a dynamic content. So depending on what people search, you can make sure the communication is also like that. So is your content dynamic? That's also something that you need to look at. So fifth and sixth are basically setting up your landing pages. Seventh is where you're talking about building a lead score model, right? Now, lead score model is not necessary. If you ask me, is it necessary for every customer, every retailer? Not actually, but having it is definitely better. And if your customers run in the times of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 customers, then you need to build a lead scoring model. Okay, your marketing automation software will get this done. Okay, so to connect to the lead scoring model, we typically, everybody, all of us have been a part of sales. We have all done sales in our lives. So whenever a new lead comes, we treat it as a hot lead or a cold lead or an invalid lead, right? That is itself is a scoring, right? But marketing automation software just goes a couple of steps deeper into it and starts putting score for it. People who interacted in a website will be given a point. People who have gone through a checkout page will be given a point. People who have visited our page thrice or 4 times, 5 times, regular visitors will be given more points. So marketing automation software can enable you to get that done. And so the next time you see your customer dashboard, customer database, you see okay, then you will say, hey, put all the 9+ points customers. Then you get a list of customers. Now these are the customers who will interact with you 90%, right? And then you will say, hey, show me all the customers in the score of 5 to 9. Okay, then they will all come. Okay, in liye coupon codes bhejo, right? Give them coupon codes, right? And let's say 0 to 2 points. Now these are the guys who have to market it well. So increase the communication by 3x. Usually your messaging frequency is 1 email per week, or let's say 1 SMS per week. Give 3 per week, because these are the guys who needs more marketing. So you need to align the marketing automate accordingly and fix in a workflow, and the software will take care of it, right? And then you can also plan events with the marketing automation. So where you're talking about for example, retailers especially who want more walk-ins here, right? So for people with high lead score, you can basically say, hey, walk into a shop in the next 3 days and avail a discount personalized only for you, right? Now those limited offers, if you put it as an event and push it using your automation software, then there's a high probability that those customers will come into you. Reliance Trends, again, I'm quoting this again because Reliance Trends is one brand that really does marketing automation very effectively, right? So they're very good at doing that. So try and marry a physical event or an online event along with the CTA and automate the marketing, right? So which means your lead score customers of 9+ or 8+ will always get good discount codes every week in a quarter, right? So which means you will make them a customer of your brand every quarter, right? So that's how you basically plan the entire marketing automation bit. Okay, then marketing automations for sales, right? So I think we are in a era where cold calling is literally dead. There's no more cold calling happening, and etc. So if there is no cold calling happening, then how do you pitch it for more customers, right? So which means the only channel that you have in terms of your social, your website, and your SMS emails has to be done very effectively. So that's where you need to give it a very sales focused approach as well. So what is your sales message frequency, right? Now you have launched a new product. What is the coupon frequency? How many SMS that you need to blast this week? How many SMS you need to blast over a quarter, right? To whom all you are sending a follow-up emails, etc., etc. So you can do marketing automation for sales. And then how do you generate maximum ROI out of marketing automation is, once you do all these activities, then there is a funnel that comes in, right? Your marketing automation software will help you make that funnel. So the funnel, we're talking about people who open, then people who check out our content, number 2, then people who check out our content and land on our website or call you or visit your store, number 3. 4, they move to the checkout page or they make an inquiry. 5th is where they do the sales. And now if you look at this percentage, you will come at a number called the conversion funnel or the conversion rate, right? So then you will get an assessment of, if I send 10,000 SMS or if I send 5,000 emails, I'm getting 50 customers or I'm getting 75 customers. Then your functions splits into 2. One on improving the conversions, And the second is increasing the number of reach to more than 20,000 SMS or 5,000 SMS, 5,000 emails. That's where the ROI comes up, right? Okay, now coming to the marketing automation, when does it fail, right? So number one, marketing automation fails if you're focusing only on quantity. I have seen a lot of retailers do this mistake. They focus on quantity. Array, 1 lakh database leke aao, 50,000 database leke aao, get me 25,000 leads and etc. Don't focus more on the quantity, but look at the more of the quality of leads, right? So rather than purchasing some 500 rupee database from online somewhere and blasting an SMS for 1 lakh people, what you can literally do is nurture regular customers from your existing base. That's what we mean by that, right? And the next point is, if you don't have enough content, because as a business you need to come out with new content, new story, new marketing ideas, always to basically pushing no story about it. If I keep getting the same old coupon code, same old SMS, see, sometimes I pity these retailers. Whichever day of the year I go, they will always have 50% off, right? I know some of the shops where I go throughout the year, there'll be 50% off, there'll be 40% off, there'll be buy 3 get 2 free and etc. So what happens is they don't have new content, because of which they are not seen very innovative, because of which they are not being able to attract customers, right? How can there be a sale year long? So which means your MRP itself is 30% off, right? So that's what we need to focus on. You need to have enough good content for marketing, and you need to have a long-term plan. I understand we all have a sales pressure, we all have our we have ends to meet and etc etc, but you need to have a long-term goal in mind if you're going to show marketing automation side of things, right? Now, what is the number of customers you will procure from digital in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, is a long-term goal that I'm talking about, right? If you don't have a long-term goal, and if you're trying to do marketing automation for the SMS that you do on a weekly basis, you don't need a marketing automation, right? Marketing automation is only when your brand needs to grow from point A to point B. If you're looking only for an SMS function, blasting it manually, you don't need a marketing automation, right? Okay, then coming up to keeping up your momentum, right? Okay, now this is where the most important point, last and most important point, is keeping up the momentum. So what we look at that is, just because you set up a marketing automation software, it does not replace all your marketing activities. It takes care of certain things regularly, right? But you should still regularly spend time and make sure the momentum is being pushed for, number one, segmenting your leads, because more lead you get, the more you need to kind of optimize it into different buckets, ladies separately, gents separately, people who can afford more than 5,000, less than 5,000, etc etc, right? And then you also need to keep introducing more call for actions. Chat using WhatsApp, order using WhatsApp wasn't there till like 3-4 years back, but right now most of the retailers are putting in WhatsApp. So new marketing channels are coming into the market. So you need to make sure that you keep integrating all the new channels into your marketing automation, right? And definitely, even though your marketing automation software will take care of most of the things, testing your emails becomes very important, because one email with a spelling mistake is enough to completely destroy your reputation of your brand, right? So always personally test your emails and then approve it so that it goes on air, right? Then online lead capture form, it should be very simple. And for people who don't have e-commerce, you definitely need to find out a way to capture the contact details of people who walk in. You can say, hey, leave your contact details and get a 5% off on any whenever you want to do it, doing some purchase, right? I wouldn't mind. I've seen some of the retailers where they ask them to drop a business card, because they have a lucky draw for some gifts and etc. It's a smart way of collecting more data, but data capturing is the key here. And then experiment with lead score models. There is no pre-built lead score model. So tomorrow, don't come and tell me that hey, I bought a software, the lead scoring is not working. No, lead scoring works different for every industry, and in every industry, every player, the lead scoring works differently. The lead score given by Tanishq for a jeweler doesn't necessarily mean it should be the same by Carrot Lane's lead score for a jeweler and for a customer, right? So it could be different. So the lead score is nothing but how your brand evaluates a customer. Some brand will say, hey, 5 times if a customer walks in, 6 times he'll purchase. Some brands will say the first time if he doesn't buy, he's no more my customer. So it depends on that, right? Then engaging current customers, look at leveraging current customers, give a coupon code. Your marketing automation software can help you throw coupons not only for your customers, but for your customers' family, customers' friends, and etc. So think in that angle on leveraging your existing customers, and then develop your best practices of to-do list to do within your company. Wherever you feel you're wasting a lot of time on activity that is not actually bringing in enough results, try and automate it using the marketing automation software. Now, these are predominantly the steps, theoretically, to how to take your brand into marketing automation. I could very well run a live demo of marketing automation tool, but number one, some of you might find it very technically not very easy to understand, at least in the initial stage. Second is we have time shortage as well. Okay, now coming to the most important question of hey, what marketing automation tool can I use? but which software can actually solve all my problems, right? But I believe Freshdesk is getting into a proper MA ecosystem. I think they have some demos to do, but on a global level, the brands that you see here, right? 36.3 globally, it's still HubSpot. HubSpot is the world's #1 marketing automation software. HubSpot is famous because HubSpot talks to most of the legacy CRMs, and HubSpot is modern enough to talk with your Facebook, with your Google AdWords, with your Google Analytics, etc. It mixes legacy and the new age digital very well. And HubSpot has a lot of predefined email templates, predefined SMS templates, predefined customer workflows, predefined abandoned cart emails, and etc. etc. So HubSpot is one of the good software. But apart from that, if you see, there is Pardot, there is Acton. For small, medium players, I will definitely recommend this company called Marketo. Marketo is definitely comparatively cost efficient and as well as is good. Adobe Campaign is also very easy. It comes at, I think, less than around $60 per month. Okay, Adobe Marketing Cloud it's called now. Adobe Marketing Cloud, AMC. That is also a very good marketing automation software. So yeah, so with respect to small retailers perspective, HubSpot, Marketo, and an Adobe Marketing Cloud are something that I will definitely recommend that. The remaining other players are slightly for larger companies, which we're talking about companies like lifestyle, companies like let's say Big Basket, or companies like Big Bazaar. Larger companies can use the other enterprising stuff, right? So those are some softwares, and I think HubSpot, Marketo, as well as Adobe Marketing Cloud gives you 1 month free trial, wherein you can create an account, integrate your WhatsApp, integrate your emails, and try and run some sample campaigns. And what I want you guys to understand is marketing automation of the entire brand, which I'm talking about. Let's say a flow like this or a flow like this is not or cannot be built in a day. Marketing automation is a 6 months journey, or in fact even 12 months journey for some brands, right? It has to evolve over a period of time, right? So you will try some software, it won't work for you, then you will change the software, then you will try some CRM, it won't work for you, you'll change the CRM. It will take a 1 year journey. It's actually a 1 year journey by which you will have your independent softwares like WhatsApp bot, Facebook bot, e-commerce, Shopify, CRM, etc., etc., and then try HubSpot by the 4th month or 6th month to integrate everything. And maybe HubSpot doesn't work for you, you'll go for Marketo. So it will be 1 year before which your brand can completely be evolved as a marketing automation, right? So that's what marketing automation does, right? But I think a live demo, I think Freshworks has a session after mine. I believe they have a product to demo you on what theoretically all I spoken, etc. But I think you guys would have had a clear idea of what I'm looking forward to convey here, right? So the regular marketing function where you are currently wasting a lot of time and effort and money on mundane tasks, give it to the software. You focus on the larger side of things rather than regularly following up, rather than remembering which customer purchased with the last year and etc. etc. Everything can be automated, right? If you give a great marketing automation done within an organization, the outcome of it is you're giving your customer a great customer experience, right? Customers keep getting reminded of you. They know that you're very much active. They know you're active post-COVID as well. And that brand equity is what, end of the day, everybody needs, right? So with that, I come to the end of the session. Thank you all for being a good audience. Bala, off to you.
Thank you, Santhosh. Thank you for that express session. Once again, I'll request you to stay back because we are going to have a Q&A after this. But now we will have the session from Mr. Venu of Freshworks. Venu Mohan of Freshworks is a senior product developer there at Freshworks and handles the marketing automation part for Freshworks. So welcome, Venu. Thanks for joining us today. And before we start with Venu's session, we'd like to play a small video on Marketeer. So we can go and okay, there's one more thing. I think we have a lot of requests for people wanting to reach out to Santhosh one-to-one. So I think there is a request form that you can probably reach out one-to-one. So admin, you can put up the form. So this is designed to be a 1.5 hour session, which is quite fast. So we might not be able to take all of your queries individually, but you can take a one-to-one session with Santhosh. So, this details will also be on the chat box as you can, connect with him as well. And also we have a Q&A coming up at 5:20. And meanwhile, I now, request to start the video and then we will move on to Mr. Venu Mohan's session.
Freshmarketer is an all-in-one conversion optimization tool, packed with all of the powerful features you need to convert website visitors into your customers. The user interface is designed specially for digital marketers like you, so that you can easily edit web pages and run experiments without much help from your tech team. Fresh Marketer also comes with a handy Chrome extension, which helps you create experiments in a few minutes with just one click, right from the top of your browser. Instead of using different tools and spending time on integrating them, use Fresh Marketer, a complete CRO suite for effective website optimization. With Fresh Marketer, you'll be able to analyze how your visitors interact with your website, optimize your web pages by testing different versions to a targeted audience, personalize their experience, and engage with your visitors by receiving real-time feedback. Now let's take a look at the features. You can analyze your visitor behavior with advanced heat maps, contextual session recordings, funnel, and form analysis. Funnel analysis helps you identify exactly where visitors drop off so that you can take corrective actions to reduce bounce rates of that web page. Heat maps helps you generate dynamic live heat maps reports instead of viewing them in snapshots. Every heat map click, scroll, and tap is captured in real time and also generates appropriate heat maps for desktop, mobile, and tablet as well. With the session replay feature, you can record and watch how your visitors interact on your website. Derive meaningful insights by categorizing such recordings into different audience segments instead of dealing with a dump of thousands of recordings. Form analysis helps you identify pain points of your web form with 5 great reports instantly. Measure hesitation time, abandonment rate, drop-off, time spent on the form, correction rate, and much more. Once you find out what your visitors like and ignore on your website, you can now optimize your web pages by testing different variations to different audience segments with the A/B testing feature. Run an A/B testing experiment to test, target, and validate different variations of web pages with extensive report and data segments. Fresh Marketer's visual editor makes editing web pages so easy and simple. You can also do split URL testing to know which of your landing pages are performing better. You can also see the heat maps for every variation of split URL test. It doesn't end here. With Fresh Marketer, you can also engage with your audience by conducting polls and receiving feedback from your website visitors. And also with personalization, you'll be able to provide personalized experiences with custom audience segments with tailor-made web content for complex target audiences. From analyzing visitors' behavior and optimizing web pages to providing tailor-made experiences to different visitor personas, you can do all of this with one powerful tool, Fresh Marketer. Sign up for Fresh Marketer today to boost your website conversions with the most powerful CRO tool.
Thank you, Adnan. And over to you, Venu. I think the session is all yours.
Hi, Bala. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your thank you so much for the option. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session. And very good evening to everyone. So let me share my screen.
Hello.
Bala, able my screen.
We are able to see your screen, but the audio is there's a we can't hear your audio very clearly.
Okay, just a minute. Is I'm audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. You can go ahead.
Perfect. Sure, I will share my screen again. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. And today we will a little bit touch upon the marketing automation and giving a very good customer experience to from the beautiful softwares available with the market. And we will move on to the next slide now. Okay, let's talk about what are the challenges which is faced by each and every agents as part of using the different tools. So the agents might use multiple tools for multiple action items for designing a website or designing an email template. And there might be a data mismatch between the sales agent and the marketing team. And even there is a chance to for the sales team would get like an unqualified leads with different data, so that might mislead the salesperson to the communicate with the customer with different information. In order to make sure the accuracies are happening properly with proper information based on the customer's expectation, what actually they are expecting out from you, and how they are playing across your website, and which product or which services they are most interested in, try to capture all those information. And that is a major challenge is faced by each and every agent or each and every organization to understand the customer's expectation. and and also there are multiple tools is available in the market, starts from enterprise solutions to the SMB sector solutions. So how the tools are very user friendly to set up the entire process, how easily you can configure your requirements as part of your system, or whether the same tool captures all your requirement in one place, or do you need to integrate with multiple solutions to access multiple information. So that is how there are certain tools are there like Fresh Marketer and HubSpot or any other informations or products would help you to more do the marketing activity in more advanced way. And also the configuration would be like very easy and user friendly, and based on the marketing trend you would also able to change the business rule, and you can automate the marketing journey for certain segmentations, you would able to do it. And these are the some of the challenges which is faced by the agent. I just put it on the screen. And now we will talk about the journey, how easily you can onboard your different customers from different channel, either through WhatsApp or a phone or like a social media, like from Facebook or Twitter. So the customers would try to reach you through multiple channels. So we cannot expect all the customers should reach only through Facebook or through email inquiries. But the customers would prefer to reach you through social media or through a phone number or maybe a WhatsApp. So nowadays, because of this COVID situation, everything is finally coming, moving, go to the digitally. So the users are using the technology to reach the customers and get the things done on time. So you can also easily onboard your WhatsApp users. So WhatsApp communications can be converted easily into the marketing tool, and you would able to understand what their expectation. And even for the chat also, you don't want to have any person behind the screen to chat with them. Instead, you would able to easily define the workflows to respond all the customer queries with what they are expecting. For example, if they have a query with a product, or they need some a refund for the particular product, or they want to replace their existing product. So all these conversations you would able to automate with the help of workflow. And even once the expectation is set by the customer, you can trigger those information to the agent to take to the next level of activity. So by the way, you would able to capture the customer's information from a customer can try to reach you through different channel, and you would able to understand what they are looking for. So you can easily capture into the systems with the help of automation tool like Fresh Marketer. So this will capture the behavior of the customer. If the person is trying to play around your website, specific to the product or specific to the pricing page of your website, this product will able to help you and track all those metrics. Or even they are trying to download some newsletters or a product brochures or any other custom events as part of your website, even able to track all end-to-end action item of the customer. And this information would easily help you to segmentize your customer. And this segmentized customers will help you to send some right set of email campaigns to the right set of audience. So in order to send email campaigns or personalized email to the audience, even the agent doesn't need to be in the system to send email every time or weekly ones or daily ones. Instead, you can automate the entire journey of the customer. For example, if there is a new customer is trying to sign up, okay, and if you want to have a journey for the new welcoming the customer for purchasing a product or adding into the part of the cart page, you can set an automated journey here. So this journey will take the customer from one stage to the last stage. And once the person or once a customer move over the entire journey, then you would able to automatically qualify this customer information, and you can easily pass it on to the CRM. And from there, your sales agent can easily pick those customers as a qualified lead, and they can also, the agents can also see what kind of products they are looking on, what they are interested in. So by the way, your sales agent can also proactively go to the customer with relevant materials and relevant product informations, and you can easily build a very good relationship with the customer, and you can easily convert them as your winning customer for you. Okay. And similarly, this is one of the use case, but similarly, if you want to automate your all the journeys with respect to the custom events or with respect to the email activities, whether the customer is opening your email or not, whether they have clicked your email or not, based on the customer's behavior, you can define the system to send what next activity or what next email need to be triggered to the customer. So this going to be the entire journey is going to be like personalized to each and every customer, those who are part of your website or part of the Fresh Marketer tool. Okay. And once you capture the entire information, once you understand this customer is looking for a specific reason, specific product or a service, you would able to align them easily as part of your pipeline. And also, our products are fully built with AI capability, the artificial intelligence based lead score. So each the lead score would be differentiated based on each and every industry. We cannot predefine the rule. This is how it works. But each and every industry can configure the lead score logic, and based on that, you can easily identify what are the priority leads or what are the qualified leads as part of the system. So the lead score will give a clear information how many leads are qualified leads and which one you can focus more on. Okay. By the way, your agents can pick right set of leads from your total number of buckets, and it will help the agents to close the deal as soon as possible. Okay. Instead of if you are generating a leads of 100 leads in a day, if your agents wants to invest their time all the 100 leads, then it doesn't make sense. So instead of focusing on all the 100 leads, somehow the system would help you to identify these are the hot priority leads, these are the customers expectation. With all this predefined information to your agents, that's definitely will make more sense to your sales agents to focus on the selling part. Instead of doing the background verification or instead of doing the discovery again, they can start showing the products in deep, and they can show the products according to the customer's expectation, or they can define the POC or product requirement based on the customer's expectation. And this will improve the engagement, or it will improve the confidence of the customer on your product and services. Okay. And similarly, you might also work with hundreds of customers and throughout the journey, and you can also easily cross sell or upsell your products once the customer is interested on different solutions. Since the fresh marketer would able to help you with all those information, and also you can take it as an analytical reports at any point of time. So these analytical reports always give you more information about what key decision making process needs to be done. Okay. And also it plays a major role for the management team to take what are the next steps we need to focus on, and what is the customer expectations out of it. And with the help of running a poll and feedback within your product, within your website, even the anonymous visitors can give feedback to your solutions and products. Even you can take that as a report on weekly basis or monthly basis whenever you run a poll and feedback session as part of your website. So that definitely is going to make a good change as part of your business. And this also gives you the clear cut and clear information that what they are looking or what the customer expectations is. Okay, and there are CRO as part of Fresh Marketer, like that also help you to understand which product they have opened more and which are the specific pages they have clicked more. Based on that, you can focus on those products and you can run a campaign and you can give more promotions to the particular product. These are the informations will help you to improve your cross-selling and upselling your products and services. Okay, and all your emails can be triggered as a personalized email. So you can also make sure that your emails are not delivering to the customer spam bucket. Instead, like our marketing automation tools will help you to make sure the personalized emails are received in their inbox. Okay, and end of the day, this full automation part is the moral of the automation part is to give a wow factor to the customer, to give a best seamless experience to the customer, as well as the agents, those who are using the tool. Okay, so the agents need to be very comfortable to use the tool, to access all those information at one place, and this also give a very good impact on the customer experience also. Okay, and let me briefly explain how customers from different channels, so you don't want to worry about it, and track customers expectation snippet. So your agent doesn't need to do any background verification, or they need to no need to do any discovery question. And the lead score would give more importance to your leads, how you can easily qualify it, and each and every industry can configure this lead score logic, how it would works for their organization. So based on that, your agents or your marketing agents or a sales agent can easily identify the quality leads, and also they can focus on the priority leads as soon as possible. Okay, and also this AI is not only for identifying the priority leads, it also give you more insights on how you can easily close the deal as soon as possible. Okay, so that is what the AI comes in as part of the automation tool. So this will help you to improvise your engagement with the customer proactively and automate all your sales activities. So that is an end motive of the using the each and every tool. Instead of using the manual activities again and again, you can easily automate all your activities, start from the email campaign, following up with the customer, or sending a right set of information to the customer. And this information needs to be sent to the customer in a personalized way instead of like a generic marketing email campaign. Okay, and also this marketing campaigns also you can run it as part of your WhatsApp. So WhatsApp users also, in order to attract your attention of WhatsApp users, and by the way, you can promote your business and services across the channel digitally. Okay, and all this information you were able to generate as an analytical reports. Even this analytical reports can also be automated with the help of this tool. Like you can schedule the reports whenever you need, and also the system will generate this report and will send it to the right stakeholders, those who want to review this metrics and the performance trend report. Okay, so by the way, you can use this marketing automation tool, and the CRM would help you to automate your marketing activities as well as the sales activities too. Okay, and end of the day, all these touch points will lead to one part of the journey: delight your customer from wherever you are. Okay, and if you have any questions, so please use the chat box to write down all your questions. So we will help you with a proper solution for that. Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks, Venu. Thanks for that quick roundup on how Freshworks can help in marketing automation with the suite of products that you have got. So now I'll request Mr. Santhosh and Mr. Anirban to switch on their videos and the mics as well. We have a few questions that we can take from the audience. So Santhosh, there's a question for you. Roshni writes that she has a lot of data as a company, online data collected from website, push notifications, YouTube, chatbot, etc. But they are currently working without a CRM. So how do they get started with marketing automation?
I think the answer is already there. You need to purchase a CRM. I think especially if you have a lot of data, it's not that you can still survive. Nobody's doubting your question about survivability without a CRM. You can definitely survive, but can you be really efficient? That's the question. So I believe with CRM in place and with your knowledge on the kind of data that you possess and etc. With CRM, you'll be able to do magic and wonders. So that's fair. So I think the first thing that they should do is maybe quickly look out for a CRM, maybe even a fresh sales, for example, or exclusive life, for example. They can start with the CRM and then upload all the data into there. And whatever they do in terms of segmentation, they can all do it online. So eventually they can start, getting into the marketing automation journey, right? So that's the first step for them to, getting into CRM.
Yeah. So there's a question for Venu. So there is from a message from a family that runs Sri Durga departmental stores. Does your solution apply for offline stores, purely offline stores? Is the question that.
Yeah, of course. Like even the agents can go to the offline stores and they can use the mobile application to maintain all those store informations and key stakeholders from the store. Even the agents can use the mobile app in offline mode and they can import all those records.
So that is offline online integration is very much possible, sir. So you can go ahead and try out. And we have, I think, Freshworks has been kind enough to put out a special offer for the people who are part of this webinar. If you want to register for a demo and onboard with Freshworks, you can click on to the bit link that is there on the chat box, so that you will be able to access access a trial version. So that will help you very much. And also, most of the times it's a self-service software. Here you will get somebody who will help you handhold and onboard in the software as well. So now my next question is, in terms of abandonment in cart. So a few of them are moving on to online. So if there's an abandoned cart, like how does Freshworks help in that situation, Venu?
Yes. So it's all about like a matter of a code snippet, which is available in Freshmarketer. So you need to update it as part of your website header. So whenever the person is move away or they didn't make the payment and unsuccessful, you would able to track that metrics as part of each and every contact in Freshmarketer. So based on that, you can also go back and you can follow them and you can try to convert them with giving a promotion or a discount uh, coupons and codes to convert them as your customer. Even you can also track that custom events as part of Freshmarketer too.
And there's a question here for, I think, Santhosh. Santhosh, like in terms of being hyper local, how does marketing automation work? How do you maintain that customization of a hyper local business model, yet in scale?
Right. So I think I had a friend of mine who he was a hyper-local person who successfully kind of turned his hyper-local business into a subscription business, right? So he was into grocery and daily needs and etc. So he was very hyper-local. So it was initially he used to be like he used to take orders on call and etc. and deliver it to them. And slowly he rolled out a omni approach. He put up marketing automation. He launched a mobile application, and he slowly started converting some of his customers into a subscription customers, right? So now there is a guaranteed level of revenue with him because some of his customers have a subscription product and he just keeps delivering product to them on a weekly basis, right? So yeah, so with involvement of technology and digital, there is no stop to the innovation and business models that you could come out with, right? So one is enabling efficient hyperlocal. The second is also with right tools integrated, there is a high probability of conversion of any hyperlocal business into a subscription model and etc. and going semi-online. I'm not talking about don't be a big basket, right? We're not talking necessarily becoming a big basket, but be a very offline store, be hyper-local, but at the same time become a semi-online business where online could contribute to 20-30% of your customers. So that's completely possible with such process implemented properly.
So there's a question from retailer William Penn. So Venu, maybe you can take the question. He asks if there's an existing customer loyalty program, can a CRM integrate into that?
Yeah, definitely. We have the exposed APIs for integrating with any solutions across all of our products. So it's pretty much possible.
Great. So I think we have come to the end of the questions. I hope the audience liked the session, and I'll at this point of time bring in Mr. Lawrence Fernandez, Director, Learning and Development at Retailers Association of India. Retailers Association of India has been a strong partner in advocating, digital transformation for retailers across all the members. And we now call upon Lawrence sir to, formally do the vote of thanks, and then we can go ahead. Lawrence, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Bala, you can on my video.
Admin, can you just see if you can handle the video? He's not able to put on the video, please. Shakti, can you look at the video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So cool. Dear participants, thank you for being here on this fantastic topic that we had discussed today. Something about RAI. So RAI is a unified voice of Indian retailers, working with all the stakeholders for creating the right environment for growth of the modern retail industry in our country. What we do is we develop, facilitate, and support retailers to become modern and adopt the best practices to delight customers. There are three buckets which we work on, or three major areas which RAI works on. A is we are very strong in advocacy. It means that we work with all the stakeholders, which include government, semi-government bodies, areas of associations, and we identify areas which are of concern to decision makers in the retail industry, and then we collaborate with all these communities to bring about that change. That is what I meant at the beginning line itself, that we try to create the right environment for growth in the retail industry in India. Second is to bring growth. It also means that we need to have very strong skills. So for that, we work in the area of retail learning. So we develop programs across the life cycle of retail employees. We have got short-term programs, we have got graduate programs, we work with design institutes, we work with MBA institutes. We also create workshops like these, and even a classroom whenever the time is right. And we ensure that we identify gaps and we plug it in by creating the necessary content and delivery for the same. What we also do is we try to bring the entire retail fraternity. So as we speak, we represent about 1,800 conglomerates in retail, roughly about 500,000 plus retail shops, and close to about 12 lakh plus retail employees. So what we do is we've got chapters across the country. We've got chapters right down from Chennai right down to Meghalaya, and all these chapters, they work together. They look at local issues that the retailers are facing, and then as a chapter we try to ensure that are we able to help the retailer sort those issues out, maybe bring the best practices, maybe do a very strong representation. We also do a lot of events throughout the year in these local chapters, and also at the center we have got an event called Retail Leadership Summit, which happens in February. In surplus of 1,500 plus CEOs or CXOs attend these events. We've got a retail technology conclave towards the end of September, details of which will be shared with you also shortly. And we also do an HR event, we do a CFO event, we do vertical events also as well as horizontal at the retailer level itself. So this is something that we do. In short, what we do is we connect, converse, collaborate, and catalyze. So we connect with the government and policymakers and technologists. What we do is we converse with our peers or stakeholders. We try to collaborate to bring in the right policies, and then we are the catalyst in this entire area of growth, and we bring growth with information and knowledge. So roughly that is about us. So I would like to thank Bala for having organized this. He has always been supportive of RAI initiatives. I hope you guys, all of you all have learned a lot. So give a round of applause for Mr. Bala. This session would not have been possible if it were not for Freshworks. So Mr. Venu, Mohan, thank you so much for your inputs. Thank you, Santhosh. Santhosh has been a part of RAI ever since we went into lockdown. We have received very good, fantastic feedback on him. And I think when it comes to social media, he's a one-stop solution for us. And he's so vast, Thank you, Santhosh, for your
Thank you, sir.
continued support. Yeah, and Mr. Anirban, Chakraborty, thank you. Thank you. Your keynote session was very vibrant, and we are glad that you were able to join us and share your best practices, your ideas, which definitely were well taken by the participants. So thank you one and all. I take it back to Bala. Bala, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Lawrence sir, for this amazing partnership. I think it's now close to 7,000 to 8,000 retailers that we have reached out in the last 4 months. I'm sure we will grow this partnership into a larger canvas. And before we end, I would like to inform all the participants that we have covered 4 topics so far, and we have the final topic coming up on the 26th, which is a very interesting webinar because we are trying to put together different technologies and seeing how we can connect the dots. And we also have a special guest that day. We have the head of Target India coming for the keynote session to join us on 26th at 4 p.m. So those of you who haven't registered, please go to retailtechseries.com and do your registrations. And also for the previous webinars, we have the videos put up there, so you can access the videos as well. And for all of you who are not members of Retailers Association yet, it's the association that you have to be a member of if you are a retailer. So Lawrence sir has just put in his email ID and phone number, and you can connect with him on email or on phone, and we will onboard you quickly as a member, and you will have access to a lot of ecosystem events that happen with RAI. So with this, I will thank Santhosh once again, and Mr. Venu, Mohan, and Yuvraj, and Lawrence sir, all of you who are here, and the audience. Have a great evening, and look forward to seeing you on the 26th. That's it from me here. Thank you guys. Bye.